in the name of the Almighty, most merciful, most glorious. May the peace of the Almighty be with you. May the peace of the Almighty guide your family. May the peace of the Almighty show you the right path to follow. May the peace of the Almighty strengthen you during your difficult times. May the peace of the Almighty bless your hustle, bless your sweat, bless your struggle on earth. So thank you so much for tuning in. May God bless you. So we are going to look at how you can actually prevent pregnancy either before you meet or after you meet with your partner, because you can actually do those things that will help you prevent pregnancy before you meet with your partner, or those things that can help you prevent pregnancy after you've met with your partner already. So we are going to discuss about it. For all those who have been following us on our channel, you will see that most of the things we're going to discuss here are those things we have discussed already. So it will not be something new. We'll just be stating them such that you see the importance and you see the differences. Most of the things we are going to talk here are those discussions I've been discussing about fertility, how you can get pregnant. So if you've been following us, this is going to help you enjoy that and you understand it much more better. So thank you so much. Pregnancy, which is a beautiful thing. I used to say that that is the best thing God ever gave mankind, that's for ladies to be pregnant. And unfortunately, some of us men, we don't actually respect these women when they're pregnant, which is unfortunate, because the act of pregnancy is a blessing from the Almighty. If you can only imagine, for those of us who did sciences, I don't know, even if you did science at secondary school and you are not doing something else, you're going to see that the process of pregnancy is something that is a miracle. Little tiny sperm cell and egg cell and become 9 months in a woman's belly. That is something that is so special. So if you're a young man, you're married, if you're a man that's married, please make sure to always respect women. Please, they deserve respect, like maximum respect. And for the ladies, also make sure that you respect yourselves, because it's a privilege that God has given you for you to bear a child, for you to carry a child for 9 months. It's a privilege that God has given ladies, and they should not maybe take this privilege and throw away. They should always look at this as a privilege and enjoy it and take it as a blessing, and always enjoy the scenario in which they find themselves. So thank you so much. So pregnancy, during pregnancy, you see that when a woman is pregnant, carry this pregnancy right up to 9 months, she goes through a lot of different stuff right up to the time she puts to bed. But at times it might be difficult for some people to conceive, and that is what we've been discussing more on the channel, how to improve your fertility. But for today, we'll be looking at what you can do in order to avoid pregnancy if you've not met with your partner, and what you can do to actually avoid pregnancy if you've met with your partner. So you might have not met with your partner, you're thinking of what you can do to avoid it, right? Not to actually get pregnant, or you've met with him already and you're struggling to look at what you can do to avoid pregnancy. So we'll be looking at all of this together. So like I said, most of these things we've discussed it on the channel. So you'll see that these are things that I've talked about several times. So what can you do in order to avoid pregnancy? There are some of those things that are natural, some are artificial. So those natural things will have to do with you understanding some key things of your body. So those natural things will involve you understanding your menstrual cycle, isn't it? It will involve you understanding the temperature method of avoiding pregnancy. It will involve you understanding your cervical mucus. It will also involve you understanding how your general health is. So we will be discussing, it's only a little bit why we said it will be important. You know your cycle will be important, you know the temperature method will be important, you know your cervical mucus. In relation to how you can avoid pregnancy before meeting your partner, then we come to the artificial method, which would be your pregnancy prevention pills, which you can take in order to avoid pregnancy. So if you want to avoid pregnancy, then you need to understand your cycle, understand your menstrual cycle. Then you also need to do what? Understand your cervical mucus. You need to understand your internal temperature. Now, for menstrual cycle is something we'll be talking about here several times. So it's just for you to understand the safe period method. And the safe period method is the time in which you will look at those time, those days that are fertile. You avoid meeting with your partner. So avoid meeting with your partner during those days that are fertile, while you meet with your partner during those days that are not fertile. For people who have very short cycle, this is very interesting, and you need to understand that for people with very short cycle, they are fertile immediately after their flow. So if you have cycle of 21, you have cycle of 22, you have cycle of 23, you're fertile immediately after your flow. And if you're fertile immediately after your flow, this is something that you need to take care about, because you can get pregnant without even knowing. We have ladies that have gone for medical abortion just because they got pregnant without knowing. Some maybe they have had 2, 3, 4 kids, 5 kids, and pregnancy still come because they have very short cycle. So they were meeting thinking that, oh, come on, they're fine. Meeting thinking that, oh, come on, they're not fine. That nothing can happen, and you see, they become pregnant. So this is something that you need to take note about. So the menstrual cycle is something that you will use in order for you to prevent before you meet with your spouse. People with very short cycle know that immediately after your flow, you are fertile. 21-day cycle, you don't even need any day after your flow. You don't need any day. If you're 21-day cycle, you are fertile right immediately after your flow. Therefore means if you flow for 3 days before you're fertile, if you flow for 4 days before you're fertile automatically. So we should take note about that. Why people with very long cycle, if your cycle very long as 35 days, 35 days is the longest cycle, then your fertile window comes a little bit ahead, right from day 17. So that's really, really far. So it therefore means that what if you want to avoid pregnancy and you have very short cycle, what do you really need to do? So if you want to avoid pregnancy before you meet with your man, then make sure that you have counted. If you have a cycle of 21 days, 21-day cycle, it will mean that you are fertile from day 3 right up to day 9. You're fertile from day 3 right up to day 9 if you're 21-day cycle, and that is the shortest menstrual cycle. So what are you going to do? You're going to avoid meeting with your partner between these days. So you rather meet with your partner probably above day 9, that is around day 10, day 11. So you start meeting with your partner around day 11, day 12. In that way, you avoid pregnancy before you meet with your partner. So you've already counted. So you've counted these days, and you know that, hey, come on, I will meet with my partner, but on this day. That's why we say these are things that you need to do before you meet. If you look at the topic here, those things that you know in order to avoid pregnancy, those things that you need to do before or after, right? Before you meet, what are you going to do? Your cycle is 1. So if you have very short cycle, the right time to meet with your partner is from day 10 and above. People with 21-day cycle, day 10 and above. You can consider day 11, because if you are avoiding pregnancy, you should give more days, right? You should give more days. So you can start from day 11. Start from day 11 upward. Therefore means you can't get pregnant from day 11 if you are a 21-day cycle. If you're a 22-day cycle, you start from day 12 upward. Well, what we mean by day 12, we are not talking about 12th of December. We are not talking about 12th of January. We are not talking about 12th of February. We are not talking about 12th of May. We mean 12 from the day you start menstruating. So if you start menstruating today, today will be your day 1. We should not get confused between you actually menstruating and the normal calendar. Your normal calendar will be there maybe to direct you, but your menstrual days, you start counting from the first day of flow. The first day of flow is always your day 1. So If you have very short cycle, like someone with 21 days cycle, then the best time to meet if you don't want to get pregnant will be what? Day 10, day 11 above. So if you're 22 day cycle, you meet from day 13 and above. That's how it should be. Now, people with very long cycle, as 35-day cycle, if you have very long cycle, you have to meet when you are not fertile. And when are you not fertile? If you have very long cycle, you are not fertile right from day 17. So you have 17, you have 18, you have 19, you have 20, you have 21, you have 22, you have 23. So from day 17 right up to day 23, that is when you are not fertile. Sorry, that is when you are fertile. For somebody who is 21, who is 35-day cycle. 35-day cycle is the longest cycle. So you become fertile from day 23, from day 21, sorry, day 17, right up to 23. So day 17 right up to 23, you are fertile. So what do you need to do in order not to get pregnant? So you have to calculate those days and you meet with your hubby out of these days. So you either meet with your hubby before day 17 or after day 23. So that is what you should do if you have very long cycle. Not that people with very long cycle, they may get confused and start thinking that, hey, come on now, probably they should meet with your partner, they should meet with your spouse, maybe immediately after maybe day 10. No. If your cycle is 35-day cycle, you can get pregnant if you meet on day 10. Yeah, it will be difficult for you to get pregnant if you meet on day 10. Day 11, no. Day 12 is from day 17. So if you want to avoid pregnancy, what do you know? What do you need to do? You need to meet with your spouse in the days that are out of day 17, right up to day 23, if you have a 35-day cycle. So that is what you should do for people with very long cycle. But if you want to get pregnant, then the 17 right up to 21, the 23 should be when you should meet with your spouse. So that will be it for menstrual cycle. If you want any details about the menstrual cycle, please visit our videos. We made several videos. Even one of the latest that we discuss about has to do with the menstrual cycle. So visit it and you also understand it better. We can also discuss if you want to. My WhatsApp number is 00237 666 006 00237 That's my WhatsApp number. We can always talk about that. That WhatsApp number is exclusive for health issues, please. So the next thing, what can you do if you want to meet with your partner? How can you do to prevent pregnancy before time? The next thing you can do is to understand your cervical mucus. Remember, we discussed about cervical mucus in our last video. The last video I did is about the cervical mucus. So how do you know cervical mucus that is not fertile? How do you know such cervical mucus? Cervical mucus, we have about 4 major types. We have the very first cervical mucus you see immediately after your flow. That is the sticky cervical mucus. We have the next cervical mucus that you see after sticky cervical mucus, which is the creamy. We have the next cervical mucus that you see after that, which is the watery, and we have the egg white cervical mucus. Among these cervical mucus, we have the first one, that is the sticky cervical mucus. If you don't want to get pregnant, that cervical mucus is the best if you don't want to get pregnant. So we have sticky and we have creamy. Okay, cervical mucus that is sticky, right? That's the cervical mucus. You can actually get pregnant if you want to. If you don't want to get pregnant, cervical mucus that is sticky is the best. The next is creamy. So sticky and creamy, those are the two cervical mucus for those who don't want to get pregnant, and you have to know that ahead of time. That's why I said these are things that you will need to do before you meet your partner. It's not like you meet your partner before you start thinking about it. No, you have to understand it. Then you meet with your partner knowing that, no, come on, I can't get pregnant if I have connection with my partner during this period. So those are things that you should know. So for cervical mucus, the sticky and the creamy cervical mucus, that is the cervical mucus that if you meet with your partner, you won't get pregnant. It therefore means you are not fertile. But we have the watery cervical mucus and the egg white cervical mucus. Those are the cervical mucus that if you meet, you're going to have one dark boy here, one black African boy here like me. Okay, so you need to avoid those ones. That's the watery cervical mucus and the egg white cervical mucus if you don't want pregnancy. But if you want pregnancy, then the watery cervical mucus and the egg white cervical mucus are the best. Okay, are the best for you to get pregnant. And I did mention in the last video that for those who want to get pregnant and you're thinking about a baby boy or a baby girl, for a baby boy, if you have the egg white cervical mucus, it will be the best for you to have a baby boy. Okay, because the egg white cervical mucus tells you that you are at ovulation. All right, you are at ovulation, and when you're at ovulation, that is the best time for the white sperm cell to swim faster and meet the egg for fertilization to occur. Because the biology between you having a male child, a female child, that is why in some tradition they say, hey, come on, if you don't have a male child, maybe you are kicked out of the house. We've been watching films like that. That is really terrible. Yeah, that is really terrible because it is the male gamete that determines if you have a male child or not. Take note about this. It's the male gamete that determines if you have a male child or not. It therefore means that what? It is the man's sperm cells that will determine if you have a male child or not the woman. It is not the woman. The woman plays no part if you want to know the sex of a child. Okay, please, ladies, don't come and crucify me here. I'm just trying to give maybe a little bit of biology. The woman, the egg that the woman produces, the chromosome contains the X and X. It therefore means it's the same type of chromosome. That X chromosome does not lead to a male child. What would distinguish is the Y chromosome from a man. A man produces X and Y chromosome. It therefore means there are some sperm cells that are X, there are other sperm cells that are Y. So a man produces these two types of chromosomes. So if you want a baby boy, that's why we say meet at ovulation. If you want a baby boy, we say meet at ovulation because there is some sort of mentality within our African context that if you can't have a baby boy, then it is the woman that is causing you not to have that baby boy. That is false. It's false. Rather, if you can't have a baby boy, then it should be the issue should be the man. It should be man causing you not to have a baby boy. Okay, because you need that Y sperm cell to fertilize your own eggs. Remember, your sperms, your egg contain only XX. They are the same type of chromosome, and at the end, X and X, when they meet, they have what we call a baby girl. They will have one beautiful event. Okay, but if X and Y meet, then they have one strong boy here. All right, so you need the sperm cell that contains the Y chromosome from a man, and then with any from the woman will always give eggs to give you a male child. Scientifically, Y sperm cells are faster. Y sperm cells are faster in terms of their speed when they are being produced. So that is why we said you meet at ovulation in order, if you want a male child, meet at ovulation. Because Y sperm cells, they are fast, but the problem is that they easily die off. So if you meet at ovulation, there is that probability for them to easily move and fertilize that egg. Okay, so they can easily move and fertilize that egg if you meet at ovulation. So that's what we should take note. But X sperm cells, they are slow, but they will surely meet their egg. So if you keep X and Y sperm cell, the Y sperm cell will easily die off before maybe the 5th day in the female genital tract, but the X sperm cell will still be there. Okay, that is why I said if you want a baby boy, they meet at ovulation. That is the time that you have that probability of you having a male boy, a baby boy. Why? If you want a baby girl, you meet some 3 days before your ovulation, and that is why we are talking about two types of cervical mucus here. We're talking about two types. If you want to get pregnant, for those who want to get pregnant, two types: the watery and the egg white cervical mucus. I will say for watery, if you want a baby girl, then when your cervical mucus is watery, that's when you likely get a baby girl, because at that time is a little bit far from ovulation. But at ovulation, you can easily get a baby boy, that is egg white cervical mucus. But if you don't want a child, then you take the very first cervical mucus, that is sticky, and the second that is creamy. So that's what you can do in terms of cervical mucus if you want to avoid pregnancy ahead of time. The next thing is your temperature. Okay, this one will be difficult because you need to take your body temperature. You need to always take your temperature. This one will be difficult for you to actually follow up. But the temperature method can actually help you to know if you are fertile or not. Okay, because around ovulation the temperature increases, right? Temperature increases. Because that temperature increases, it will tell you that a common ovulation is almost around. So in terms of the natural method, that's what you can do. In terms of the natural method, that's what you can do. So in terms of the artificial method, what can you do in order to avoid pregnancy? Please, if you have any question, please just keep it at the end. I'll try to answer them, please. I just beg of you, just keep at the end and try to remember it. In terms of artificial method, we have all the birth control method that you know about. Okay, so we have the pills that you can take, emergency pills, right? You can take before that. We also have birth control method that you can take before you actually meet. That one will protect you throughout. Will just protect you throughout. So generally, most of the things that you can do are natural. Yeah, are natural. I don't know, some ladies used to say that they drink salty water. They drink salty water immediately after they meet, and it actually helps them to prevent pregnancy. The truth is, I don't know the scientific reasons behind it. So if you have been doing it and it helps you, please, I don't know, can you just share in the comment section? But there's no scientific backing with that. I don't know, there's no scientific backing so far. So maybe it's just the mentality aspect that you know that hey, come on, if you drink it and it will not work, and that is it. I don't know. But before you take your salty water, there are things that you should take into consideration. If you're a lady with high blood pressure, be very careful before you take salty water. Remember, when somebody has high blood pressure, that person's had to maybe drop down in salt, drop down in Maggi, isn't it? I'm sure you must have heard from the hospital. If somebody is hypertensive, if somebody's blood pressure is high. So before you start drinking your salty water, before you start drinking maybe your alcohol, because some actually drink alcohol, like I say here, some actually drink alcohol, like take heavy amount of alcohol. That is terrible. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. So please, you should take note about this. Before you take your salty water, make sure your blood pressure. Make sure you know your blood pressure, please. Make sure you know your blood pressure, because if you don't, this can be disastrous. Okay, this can be disastrous. You may drink that thing and increase your blood pressure. You sleep and you die in the morning. They say it's witchcraft, but that is not witchcraft. But as you, in short, it is internal witchcraft. It therefore means you kill yourself. Okay, so we need to take special note about this. But I don't know. Do you have any other natural method you know of, which maybe I've not talked about, and you think that those methods you can use in preventing pregnancy? Please, if you have such method, can you put in the comment section? Sister Rosa, you're saying that salt, alcohol, all is very dangerous. Yeah, all are very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So I don't know if somebody has taken it before, if you've taken, or maybe it's other natural method, and you have changes, maybe it has been preventing pregnancy for you. I don't know. Please, can you just share with us? Can you just share with us? I just want to use this time to quickly answer question before I go to the second part, which is how can you prevent pregnancy immediately after you meet? I don't know. Is there any question, please? Any question, please? So remember, the discussion today is how you can prevent pregnancy before you even meet with your partner or after you must have met with your partner. Okay. So the very first part, we have been talking about those natural things, which is you understanding your cycle, understanding your cervical mucus, understanding your body temperature. And it says some people take some concoctions, which scientifically I will not advise any person to go ahead with such concoctions. They could be dangerous to your health. Please, before you take something, always try to talk with your doctor. Don't just go ahead to maybe take it. Let me maybe divert a little bit to talk about something that I've been saying here over and over, but I used to maybe mention it such that you can go home, you tell maybe a sister or you tell a friend. There is a blood group we call rhesus negative. This rhesus negative blood group, if you are a woman and you're rhesus negative and you've ever been pregnant without taking the anti-D serum, there is a possibility for you to have miscarriages. I have a video here I've discussed about that, but I'm just saying it so that maybe some other person may tell a sister. Yeah, I know all of us here are adults, but you may tell the younger ones at home, those that are still 13, 14, 15. Yeah, it's very important. There is a blood group. If you're rhesus negative as a lady and you become pregnant without taking the anti-D at the end of that pregnancy, what do I mean at the end of that pregnancy? If, let me say, you had a miscarriage and you do not take the anti-D, if you had an abortion and you do not take the anti-D, or you actually put to bed without taking the anti-D, the danger is that you might start having miscarriages and you'll be like, hey, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? My parents, they are behind me and all, whereas no, it is not your parents. It is not your parents that are behind you. Probably these were mistakes that you make when you're still very young. So please, our mothers at home, please take note about this. When I say mothers at home, I'm talking about those mothers that are watching us at the moment, and the mothers that will come and watch us after. They should take note about this. Also, if you are a young lady, please tell your sister, tell your friends. This blood group, every lady should do the blood grouping. Yeah, the blood group is actually in a very small percentage. The percentage is just about 5% of people that are ratios negative. Men can be ratios negative as well, women can be ratios negative. But if you are a woman who is ratios negative, this affects you. It does not affect the man. Han said, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. May God bless you, sis. So, ladies, please take this, tell your friends, tell your sisters, especially the younger ones, want to do their blood grouping. If they are rhesus negative, then if they become pregnant, make sure nothing happens to that pregnancy. If you decide to put to bed as a young lady, great, put to bed, you'll be followed up by your doctor. Unless maybe it is in one remote area where they didn't have the anti-D serum. But even you're putting to bed in one remote area, make sure you can actually get your anti-D serum such that it is given to you immediately after delivery. This will help you in future, because we've had a lot of ladies, you are 13, 14, 15, 18, you become pregnant maybe at 18 and then you decide to get rid of that child, and now you're 28, you are married to one rich person in which you have people doing your things, but pregnancy does not stand in your womb just because of miscarriages. And the reason is because maybe this happened to you when you were 10 years old, 10 years ago. So it is very important. It is very important that we take note about this and we make sure that we encourage our young ones, make sure that we encourage our friends to do their blood group. If your blood group is rhesus negative, make sure you actually take special care. Do not, if you conceive, please, if you conceive, don't joke with that pregnancy. If you conceive, don't joke with that pregnancy. If you abort the pregnancy, which is your first, make sure you take the anti-D serum. If you are in a village without anti-D serum, get to town, you get it before you even go for your abortion. Okay, I'm not encouraging abortion, but you have to do it. Yeah, nothing we can do. Okay, you have to do it. Okay, so but make sure you do that, because that is what will save you in future. A lot of ladies are suffering now without even knowing, so it is very important. So I needed to make this. If you are rhesus negative, you are a lady, you're a rhesus negative, you've had a pregnancy before, this pregnancy can cause you not to have, maybe to be having miscarriages in future if you don't take that anti-D serum. And you will continuously take this anti-D serum from each time you put to bed, you continuously take it. Each time you put to bed, you continuously take it. That is how it is. That is how it is. So I was asking for questions. So far, we don't have any questions. So we move to the second part, which is how can you prevent pregnancy? How can you prevent pregnancy if you've met with your partner already? How can you prevent pregnancy if you've met with your partner already? So if you've met with your partner, how can you prevent pregnancy? So we have emergency pregnancy prevention pills. All right. So there are emergency pregnancy prevention pills that you can actually take in order to prevent pregnancy if you've met with your partner already. So this should be taken note of, that these emergency pregnancy prevention pills, they are going to help you prevent pregnancy immediately after you meet with your spouse. But before you take emergency pregnancy prevention pill, it is important you talk with your doctor. It is important you talk with your doctor. Don't just take it. Yes. Before you start like even encouraging others to take emergency pregnancy prevention pill, please talk with your doctor to know about the dosage. Um, to my ladies, to my mothers who are married already, who have kids already, you understand that every man is not the same, every woman is not the same. There are some ladies who their level of libido is high, meaning it will be difficult for them to stay without their man beside them. Okay, it will be difficult for them to stay without their partner beside them. So they always like to engage in enjoyment, isn't it? So such women, such ladies, they may tend to get pregnancy prevention pills in bulk because they think that, oh, this is the only way when I meet with a partner I should take and avoid pregnancy because I don't want to get pregnant. That is risky. If you are on pregnancy prevention, please do not take it continuously. Yeah, it's not good to take it continuously. It's good to take it. That's why it's even called emergency prevention, because you should take it when maybe, hey, come on, I just met with my partner, and then I am like, how can I prevent myself from getting pregnant? That's when you should take it. So it's not like you should just get a carton and keep in your house, and then you start consuming each time you meet with your partner. So we should take special note. Like I said, we have ladies, just like us men. There are some of us who can stay without maybe our partners beside us because of the level of our own anxiety, right? So if you're a lady, maybe because you cannot resist the temptation of staying for 1 month without meeting with your partner. Yeah, because there are ladies who cannot resist. There are ladies who can meet every day continuously. As a hard worker, I meet with people and I understand exactly what I'm saying. The lady who can meet continuously enjoy throughout for even 30 days per month, right? For like that for 1 year. The ladies like that. Yeah, you might to some ladies it might sound like weird, like maybe it's not real, but that's just the truth. So if you're such a lady that you think that no, you cannot stay without meeting with your partner, maybe for up to a week, please, you need to first talk with your doctor and understand some key factors about your cycle, because you need to join maybe about 3 different methods of avoiding pregnancy before you succeed here. You will not only use maybe pregnancy prevention pills, because pregnancy prevention pills alone continuously is dangerous for you. Pregnancy prevention control pills are dangerous if you continuously use them. Okay, if you continuously use them, it is dangerous. That is why I said it is important that you talk with your doctor. So they should look at other, your doctor should look at other ways. So your doctor look at your menstrual cycle. Your doctor will also look at you using the latex condoms, and then with now what you will also be taking. So such that you will not take these control pills throughout. All right, you're not going to be taking these control pills throughout. You know, some people, since they don't understand their cycle, they just feel that each time you meet, because there was no latex condom, so you think that you will be pregnant, which is not actually like that. It doesn't mean that because you meet today you're going to be pregnant. No, first of all, it depends on your cycle. So you have to work on the cycle. You have to work on using a latex condom, and then work now on the control pills. So you are actually combining all of this together before you start taking these pills. Yes, I'm saying because I've had situations when people have been writing me on WhatsApp, because things, like I said, my WhatsApp is free. Any person is free to write. That's the hard part for us to discuss one-on-one. I don't have any problem with that. And somebody will request for maybe a packet of control pills, emergency prevention. Just imagine a packet of it, which maybe could be about 40 different doses. That's it. It therefore means such person, and I understand that in a situation like that, therefore means somebody who cannot control the urge. Is somebody who always, whenever the person is beside the partner, the person feels that no, I should enjoy myself. And I said, if you're such person, then you need to talk with a doctor, get counseling. Don't just stay alone like that. Yeah, don't just stay alone. Likewise, there are also people who don't like it. Yeah, unfortunately, there are ladies who don't like it. I don't know why you wouldn't like it. Okay, as ladies, please, I don't understand why you wouldn't like this, because unfortunately, there are ladies who won't like it also. There are ladies who can stay like that. Generally, men, there are very few men who will not like it. There are very few men, but generally, you have ladies. Yeah, a certain percentage of ladies who will not like it. I don't understand why you won't like it. This is a beautiful act and you should like it, but like I said, it's always important that this act is discussed with your partner so that you enjoy it better. Yeah, unfortunately, some of us men also, we have not helped our ladies. We have not helped our ladies enjoy this act, and we should always help our ladies enjoy this act because they deserve to enjoy it. They deserve to enjoy it. So, avoiding pregnancy after you must have met with your partner, you will actually need to get this emergency pregnancy prevention. Okay, you get these prevention pills and you take. This is what can help you avoid pregnancy if you met with your partner already. So it is very important that we take note about this. For those who drink maybe 1 or 2 concoctions, we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful before we take any concoction. We have to be very careful. Your health is very important. Your health very important. So it's necessary that before you take a concoction, you understand what is in the concoction. Don't just take because you've heard others saying that, oh, we should take. You know, for ladies trying to conceive, they will bear with me that because you're trying to conceive, you can take anything that somebody will give you, right? Because you're trying to conceive. Once I said this thing can help you, you will take. If I said this thing can help you, you will take. If I said this thing can help you, you will take. If I said this thing can help you, you will take. Please, please, we should try to restrain ourselves when we are desperate. Yeah, when somebody is desperate, you can do anything. And I'm saying I'm not like immune to it. I'm not immune to it. I am also maybe I'm a human, so at times when I need something desperately, I also like, but it's an advice for all of us to always think. We should think before we go for something. Yeah, we should think before we go for something because it's very necessary. So if you have a question, please, can you ask a question, please? If you have a question, please, can you ask a question? Um, Sister, this is my sister. Spice it up with Onyaja. I don't know. Is this Onyaja your name? Or Nwaja? I don't know if it's your name, but I would love to know your real name. So you were saying that you don't know why some ladies won't like enjoying. Yeah, unfortunately, some ladies will not like it. Some ladies don't like it, unfortunately. And if you don't like it as a lady, there are also many reasons. If you visit my community tab, I did something about maybe difficulties that ladies will feel. Some may feel pains due to infection. Some may feel pains due to maybe issues with their anatomy, right? So there is some is actually a medical reason why they won't like it. Why others, it could be that they maybe just grew up in a society, in a close society in which because of that mentally they don't like it. Yes, they don't like it. So I don't know. If you're a lady, you shouldn't have any reason for not liking it, okay? You should not have any reason. You should work towards it. If you feel that it's not going, you should work towards it. And if you're a man, um, maybe you have issues also getting your lady right up, then you should also, it is necessary that you talk with your doctor so that you sort it out because this doctor, your doctor can always help you out because the lady deserves to enjoy. Yeah, mindset is also a major issue, says. Yeah, mindset is also a major issue. Yeah, I am talking a lot about those who will not even like the show at all. People with mindset that will actually like attend. There are people who can stay 1 year. There are ladies who can stay for a year, and they don't even see it. They don't even see it as anything. So it's really good that we pay attention to it if maybe you have an issue. So I'll be rolling back to explain right from where we started, giving summary such that we can be closing up. If you have any question, you can ask, please. So we are actually discussing how you can prevent pregnancy, before you meet with your spouse or after you must have met with your spouse. In the discussion, we are also explaining how you can get pregnant as well, because by explaining how you can avoid pregnancy, there is also that portion of how you can get pregnant. So for those who want to get pregnant, this discussion will also help them if they follow through. So we say we have natural ways. If you want to prevent pregnancy, there are natural ways. And non-natural ways, understanding your menstrual cycle. And we use example of the shortest menstrual cycle, that is 21 days, and the longest, that is 35 days. For the shortest, if you want to avoid pregnancy, avoid the very first 10 days. If you have a very short menstrual cycle, if you want to avoid pregnancy, avoid the first 10 days. From day 11, if you have a 21-day cycle, day 11 upward, you can't get pregnant. Yes, you can't get pregnant. So that is it. If you have 38-day cycle, 35-day cycle, that is the longest menstrual cycle, then avoid from day 17 right up to day 23, probably day 17 to day 25. Okay, because for people with 35-day cycle, their cycle is so long. Okay, their cycle is so long. So they start being fertile from day 17 right up to day 35. So if you're such person, then avoid these days from day 17 right up to day 23, probably day 25. Once you avoid these days, then they are going to help you, obviously. Okay, they're going to help you, obviously, not to get pregnant. But if you want to get pregnant, please, Rather, meet during day 17 to day 23 if you are 35-day cycle, and then meet from day 3 right up to day 10 if you are a 21-day cycle. So that's the first thing we mentioned. The second thing we mention is you understand your cervical mucus. And I say, understand your cervical mucus. We have 4 major types: sticky, creamy, watery, and um, egg white cervical mucus. So avoiding all of this is going to help you also. Avoiding all of this, avoiding that if your cervical mucus is watery and egg white, avoid these two. But the first two, that is sticky and creamy, you can meet with your spouse, there'll be no problem. Okay, so if you meet with your spouse with sticky and creamy cervical mucus, there'll be no problem. I hope all of us understand what cervical mucus is. You're asking a question, sis. Let me try to read your question. You said, does lemon and ginger prevent pregnancy? Does lemon and ginger prevent pregnancy? I choose ginger, lemon, mint leaves, curry, cure, and apple cider almost every night. Does lemon and ginger prevent pregnancy? I have a huge doubt if lemon and ginger can actually prevent pregnancy. Rather, I think that lemon and ginger will help you get pregnant. Yeah. The reason being that we use lemon and ginger for menstrual cramp, right? And the reason why we use that because it helps in your reproductive system. It helps to cleanse up the reproductive system and actually makes that blood that has clotted to ease out, okay? To make the blood that has clotted to ease out. So with that, it helps the reproductive system, it helps the sperm cells to swim inside. So instead, think that this can help you towards getting pregnant, not the reverse. Sister, my sister, that's a spicy pop. I think that's what I think. That's what I believe. So you can rather help him. I have to survive. I have to survive. So the first thing we mentioned is the menstrual cycle, and the second is your cervical mucus. Knowing these two will help you to prevent pregnancy before you meet with your partner. And the third, we may mention about the temperature method. And just for you to understand that the temperature method, the temperature, the cervical mucus can also help you if you want a baby boy, a baby girl. We have explained that already, and I have said that there should be no man saying that word. The cause of pregnancy sorry, any man saying this, please tell that person that I am giving you what you give me. Because if you give that man your sperm, that is the white sperm cell, obviously, if that man gives you his white sperm cell, obviously you're going to have a male child. So any man talking about I don't have a male child because of you, tell the person I'm giving you what you give me. Yes. Then the second part of our discussion is how you can prevent pregnancy. How you can prevent pregnancy after you must have met with your partner. And we said this is by using your emergency pregnancy prevention pills. Okay, so the emergency pregnancy prevention pills will help you prevent pregnancy after you have met with your partner. So this is very important. I said, please do not just go and start taking. It's good to always talk with your doctor before you start taking. I understand there are medicine available for everyone to take, but it is very important that you talk with your doctor before you go ahead and you take some of these things because it could be somehow really dangerous if you just go ahead and you take. So that way, if I have any question, please, you go ahead and ask your questions. Let us see how we can answer it. to our people from the same family. I understand my time is to expire by um, maybe 10 minutes from now, but I may still be a little bit longer. So if after 10 minutes you feel that you can click out, it's okay. So please, if you have a question, please can you ask a question, please? Since you are saying that all these village men will not come and learn now. Yeah, the issue with this aspect of maybe some men thinking that, oh, I don't have a male child because of this lady, is just principally because of culture. Yeah, it's a cultural thing. Culturally, there's that mentality in some culture that, hey, come on, it is because of the man that I can't have a baby boy. It's because of the man that I can't have a baby boy, which is because of the woman, sorry, that I can't have a baby boy, and they grew up with that mentality. Okay, sis, this is a very beautiful question. You're asking, how does washing up prevent pregnancy? Now, the first thing is, was the enjoyment something you did maybe just for fun, and they didn't get right deep into you? That's the first thing. Because if the sponsor were just around you, please, careful with words to use here. This is a monetized video. If the sponsors are just around you, then you can wash it off. But if it was normal enjoyment and those sponsors got into you, I'm sorry, washing whatsoever thing off has nothing to do. Reason being that word. Sperm cells are something you don't see with your eyes. So you're washing away. What are you washing away? Semen. You're washing away semen. I know in the semen you have sperm cells, but because you're washing away semen, many of the sperm cells will still be there. First of all, there is no way you can wash up everything. Even if you were to maybe take a spray and spray it inside and wash and bring, there's no way. Those sperm cells, some of them will still stick in the walls of your area and they will migrate and climb up. That's what we should take note. Yes, these guys are, I think I will probably make a video of when they are being released, right up to maybe when they are released, one after they are released, 2 hours after they are released. You see how they are motile. Some of them can even punch you. That's how they are motile. They are very motile. But immediately when they are released, they are not really motile because of the sticky nature of the semen at that time. So immediately when they are released, they are not really motile. But when they are released, and after like 30 minutes, then at that time, most of them must have gone somewhere else. Even before you start thinking that you are washing, what are you washing? What are you washing? You're washing something you cannot even see. So what are you washing? Yes. So that's just it. That's just it. So if you're washing, probably the enjoyment with your partner was not something you have it right deep, but it was probably just around. If it was deep, that you enjoy it deep, my sister, forget. Washing will do nothing. Remember, we did a video about peeing after enjoyment as well, right? Peeing after enjoyment, we did a video about that. And peeing after enjoyment, we're asking if peeing after enjoyment can actually prevent this. It cannot. Peeing after enjoyment will not. They will not as well. Okay. Reason being that we have two separate channels here. The channel that you're going to enjoy is different from the channel that pee or urine will pass through. Okay, so these are two different channels. Those are two different channels. Some ladies feel that if they pee after enjoyment immediately, they are actually going to prevent them from getting pregnant. You're right. If it has been happening to you, maybe you've been doing that and you've been avoiding pregnancy, then you're lucky. You're just lucky, please. You're just lucky. Remember, somebody has sat here and predicted that Real Madrid is going to beat Barcelona 5-0. And it happened. Not in Gambia. That person was just luck. So we should not take luck at time and compare with maybe reality, right? Yes. There were people who actually said Leicester City, for those who are watching English Premier League, Leicester City was going to win in the Premier League. But very few, because the odds were completely against Leicester City. Who was Leicester during that year? But they went ahead and took the Premier League. That such people, I remember one person that was covered by BBC. That person made millions, billions even, right? Because of the odds. So that's just luck. So if it hasn't happening, if it has been happening to you, that is just luck. If you pee after intercourse or if you wash after intercourse as well, that is just luck. There's nothing. If those guys are dead, they are dead. Although you can be in a situation in which maybe your partner also, or maybe the sponsors are not strong enough to actually migrate. Okay, then that will be in a situation when there is an infertility issue roaming. Because there is an infertility issue roaming, then if you wash away maybe the few that are left, they may not have the power to migrate and go right deep to where they will climb and fertilize an egg. So that is what might happen if maybe you have an infertility issue and then you're trying to, then you wash the few that are left now, they're having difficulties going up, then you are lucky. That is just when. But if you're sure you don't have any problem, my sister, forget. Washing after has nothing to do. Those guys will move at the speed of light, get there, and have their seat. If you pee immediately after enjoyment, those guys, they are already first of all somewhere else. The enjoyment room is different from the room of urine. Don't mind. Maybe you see two people coming out from the same door. You are thinking that they are using the same rooms. You lie yourself. That particular house that you see, that is the human system. That's the female reproductive system. It's so technical. You enter inside, you see one door doing a lot of different things together. But when you get inside the room, when you get inside that house, you start seeing that word. That door like that. People were living from another room to another room, from another room to another room, from another room to another room. So room that you have maybe urine coming out from is different from the room that you actually enjoy. That's why we should take notes. Those are two different rooms. I said I'm using some of these words because we are on YouTube. We cannot like use the words directly. I hope we all understand. What does it? Does doing the do every day have any consequences? No, no. Enjoyment every day has no problem at all, please. Okay, there's no problem. It is just the physical breakdown that we all need to take into consideration here. So the physical breakdown is causing you a lot, isn't it? The physical breakdown is causing you a lot. So if you are not able to handle the physical breakdown, then you should mind the way you do your things, especially for us, the men. It breaks us down, like it really breaks us down. But I used to say that for ladies, if you really like enjoy your enjoyment as already. If you are not careful, you will not go to work the next day. If you are not careful, you will not go to work the next day. Because there is something that people need to understand is that by the time you really enjoy your enjoyment, you get tired. You get tired. By the time you really enjoy your enjoyment, you get tired. You feel satisfied. There is that satisfaction that you feel. So you have that maximum satisfaction. Yes, they have that maximum satisfaction. Thanks, E. Thanks very much. You have that maximum satisfaction when you enjoy your enjoyment. But if you don't enjoy your enjoyment, you cannot have that real tiredness. You know, when you go to the farm and you work very well, you will be tired, right? I'm talking about the physical farm, the normal physical farm. If you work very well, you'll be tired, isn't it? So if you have a partner, if your partner is someone who actually know how to drive that car very well, if your partner can drive the car very well, I bet you will not even have the energy to enter that car the next day. Okay, because you're going to feel satisfied, you're going to feel tired, and you'll be like, oh, come on, no, 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 I'm not today again, not today again. And probably maybe in some situations there are partners that will only that you will have, and just for one time, that's all. You fall asleep and you realize instead of getting up at 6 a.m. local time, you're getting up 9 o'clock local time. And I used to tell ladies, the best way to know that you really enjoy your enjoyment is for you to look at how much rest you get after the enjoyment. Once the rest is more than enough, then know that that enjoyment was actually the real enjoyment. But if the resting was not enough, then surely maybe you went to the farm playing. You didn't really work well. Because if you work well, you get tired. Okay, you work well, you get tired. Yeah. So that's it. So doing it daily will depend. Can you handle it physically? Are you sure you can handle it physically? If you can handle it physically, awesome, great. If you can't handle it physically, then please don't. Okay, don't. Like they will dismiss you for work. Don't, because your work may stop there. Because instead of you going to work at 9 o'clock, you may be going at 11, and maybe you are the manager of that corporation. You're going there at 11 at 11 a.m. Everybody was like, maybe is this man sick? Is this woman sick? So you should first of all look at your own activities and look at if you can handle it physically. Don't just because at times enjoyment might actually make you to forget about anything, right? You're like, no, let me just enjoy. Come on, come on. I believe to most of our sisters that are watching, that are out, that have gone to hustle, you're going to relate what I'm saying better because as you are there hustling, that's why even at times doing some of the playlist stuff on YouTube is tough for them because once you are hustling, you don't think again, you don't even have time to think too much about enjoyment. Yeah, as humans, you feel it, right? It's normal. But I'm saying that because you're hustling, because there's a lot of hustling mentality in you, you don't have that time to think a lot about enjoyment. You don't have that time to think a lot about enjoyment. But if you don't have that hustling spirit, you just sit every day. Hmm, you can decide to enjoy every day now. You decide to enjoy every day. There's no problem. The physical world depends. You have to imagine how stress. Jesus. Sister Rosa, no, but you are somehow right, Sister Rosa. It depends if you probably have a lot of work to do as well. Uh, but like I said, if you enjoy, if your driver, if your driver that is your partner can actually get you somewhere right up to Jupiter, I bet you will not love doing it every day. because by the time you're taken to Jupiter, sorry for that mix up. I think I'll just round up. I'm getting a call somewhere. So I am saying that you also depend on an activity, just like Sister Rosa was saying. It depends on the daily activity. But if your partner is a good driver who can drive very well, I bet you will not like to continue this thing, because the satisfaction you get from the first time, the next day you will sleep to rest, and the next day now you want to enjoy. So you see that you not have that urge to even continuously enjoy. Yeah. At times it's difficult to meet the right person, but let me say that if you're married already, the right person is the person you are with at the moment. Don't go and be trying somewhere because but if you're not married, you might have seen people who maybe they are like, you reflect and say they are fire, isn't it? Yeah, it's network says network. If if you're not married, you'll be like, oh come on, this boy I was dating wanted to kill me. But if you're married, if you're married, the right person is the person you're with at the moment. Don't go and be trying somewhere. Yeah, there are a lot of marriages that are breaking because the ladies, maybe you feel like, maybe I used to enjoy maybe Mr. Dan very well. So you are like, let me go and test him, whereas you're married already. That becomes so dangerous. If you're married as a lady, please just focus on it, because if you go testing outside, the enjoyment may carry you somewhere that you might not even want to control it, and you start looking at your partner inside the house like maybe a second hand in terms of the part of enjoyment. So please don't even try outside, okay? If you are with Liverpool, stay with Liverpool. Be a Liverpool fan. Okay. Even if Liverpool is going down as we are going at the moment, no, stay with Liverpool and don't go out of Liverpool. Don't bother. They'll be telling Liverpool will come up. Only work with their team. If you're the coach of Liverpool, obviously work with your team and your team will go up. So if you're married already, stay with your partner. Make sure, rather, you should see how you can improve one or two things, because if you improve one or two things with your partner, you will become better. But if you think that you don't want to improve it, rather you want to maybe step outside, that could be dangerous. It could end your marriage. It could end your marriage. Because with us men, um, there is nothing that a man would hate from a woman more than a woman that cheats on him. You all know that. You all know that, right? So we have to be very careful as ladies. Understand the weak point of your man. If you think that the amount of enjoyment you have is not enough, please understand the weakness and you see how you can sort it out. See how you can sort it out. And Sister Rosa asking, okay, no, spice up. Say what? This is why you're asking a question or you're making a statement. Is that this is why no single should allow any driver drive rough, because you don't know who you will end up with. Learn, let him drive slowly. Wow, wow. This is very important. This is very important. Yeah. Don't be too excited because we are still very young and you say no. They should carry you right there when you are still not married. Okay? Because just like our sister said, if you have a good driver when you're not married, it becomes very difficult if your driver, your current driver, is not as good as the previous driver. If your current driver is not as good as the previous driver, it becomes very dangerous. You might start thinking, oh, come on, I should go and meet the previous driver, right? That becomes so dangerous. Don't drive wrong. Driving if you are using a rented car. Yeah, that's another good one. That's another good one. Yes, because if you're not married, you're actually renting a car. So please, if you are married, to us men, there are some factors that we need to factor in, and if we factor in all of these factors, it's going to help us. Let me just say this to my ladies watching, please. If you're married, okay, if you're married, try your best that the local time between 4:30 to 5:30 should be the best local time that you should use. Okay. Don't use the local time between 9:30 to 11:30. But if you're somebody you have enough time, then you can use any local time. I don't know if you are understanding what I'm trying to say here. Generally, we tend to use 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, isn't it? Local time, right? But now, why don't you use the local time between 4:30, 5:30? Use that local time. Both of you, if you're workers, you must have rested, especially for the man. That is why this local time before down is the best compared to when somebody is just from work, the person is tired. So, ladies, if you can uh, uh, use this local time instead, that is the morning period instead of evening period, that would be best. That would really be best. So, please, maybe you should see this and improve upon it and see how you can change your times. Yes, this local time is actually the best. Using from 4:30 local time downward is actually the best. It gives both of you the energy. It gives both of you um, the appetite because you will not be tired and you will have enough strength to enjoy it. Sister Rosa, calm down, calm down. So that is the best local time of advice, especially to my ladies, to those who are married. If you are married and you're watching this, or if you have a partner and maybe you're having difficulties enjoying yourself, you're having difficulties because the partner may be having some issues. Okay, if the partner is having maybe issues like getting stamina, then please use the local time in the morning rather than that in the night. Okay, and most of the times we tend to, and during enjoyment, I want to use the night period. That's the evening period when somebody is back from the farm. If you're a farmer, if you are maybe a banker, whosoever teacher, you're from school, you're tired, you're thinking of resting, you start using that local time. Come on, the person is tired. Okay, we should always try to understand this. Yeah, we should always try to understand this. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much, Sister Rosa. Thank you so much. Spice it up. I really want to appreciate you guys for being here. Sister Rosa, thank you. Sister, I don't know, spice it up, please. Can you tell me your name, the English name? Let me be using that English name. Please. I don't know whether this Onwaja is your name, but it will be difficult for me to pronounce. Please, can you give me your English name? so that I can easily pronounce. So for all those who will be watching after, I really want to appreciate you all for maybe clicking on the video to watch it after. Please don't forget to share us out, share us on your community tab if you are a YouTuber, share us on your social media so yeah, this information can reach as many people as possible. Thank you so very much. May God bless you. I am actually closing up, so I want to thank you all for being there, and for those who are from the same family and who are still maybe here, thank you so much for sticking. We'll see how we can always move together. I am ready for any questions, please. I'm ready if you maybe need a help or advice on one or two things. My WhatsApp number is 00237 666 006 107 00237 666 006 107. This is for exclusive health follow-up or health information if you need. It's not for just normal hi and welcome. If you need normal hi and welcome, please catch me up on Instagram, check your help and maintain. We discuss there. So thank you so much. May God Almighty bless you. May God Almighty protect your family. May God Almighty see you through whatsoever you do. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time.